Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys had a nice summer break, a little rest, a little relaxation. It's been a little bit since we've gathered here together, coming on into class. Oh, I'm so excited. Everyone, it's just, my lovely students. It's so good to see you guys. By the way, so sidebar, look, I'm wearing the O&O shirt.
I see what you did there.
No, it's unrelated. This emotional trauma shirt that I'm wearing? It's fine. It's not related. It's not thematic at all.
Pick one of our traits. Pick one. Tell us what's about to happen.
Just choose the one in the middle. Just pick the one.
The one in the middle.
Yes.
All of us.
Okay, let's go. How about sheltered or burdened or dependent? Ooh, dependent is.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Dependent today.
I said pick my character trait, Syrup, not my trait.
Oh, so sorry. My bad.
Oh, that's actually the shirt with all of our real names on it.
I feel personally attacked.
Why does it say Ada on here?
I got the wrong edition.
It's okay, guys. Get it all out now. Get out those nerves.
Yeah, for real. Let's
get all the laughs out now, because we're not going to be laughing later.
We're just gonna cry.
Just all tears. Let's go.
So
I have the bourbon over here, just in case.
one of the things that I mentioned in the past was that this whole chapter is kind of very wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, how we're kind of jumping through a whole year in a chapter, and we're doing all sorts of time skips and jumps. So we last left off. Oh, I totally didn't do a recap. That's okay. Well, it's okay. Last time was just a fight. The entire time was one epic, amazing fight, and go watch it. But okay.
We won a tournament. That's all you need to know.
You did win a tournament. So we left off at the end with the crowd going wild, cheering you guys on. And so for the sake of time and because of how I was talking about this chapter, we're going to pick up exactly where we left off. So we are on this grassy field of the Leshy Gardens area of the Magaambya. You guys just won a tournament. Interesting things happened. It's been a little bit, so just as a reminder, Tal went all out on the battlefield, going in twice. Arc strategizing. That I almost said that way. Strategizing.
I went in all 3 times.
Yep.
I was in the whole time.
I went in none.
But
so good,
strategizing intensely. Arc was there, and then on the sidelines, feeling like they couldn't really be of any benefit when Arc was on the sidelines. And then Hideaki went on the sidelines with some recall knowledge checks, some pointers, some assistance, some use of the knowledge. And then Arafe,
MVP.
who, after a moment of some meditation between rounds, stood there, curse flowing in full effect, making the biggest difference in a fight from the sidelines without ever entering the ring. Amazing to watch, amazing to see, and I hope amazing to play, because that was amazing, really. And part of the reason why the crowd is going crazy right now. Running in, cheering. Mafika's like, yep, okay, winners, that's happening. There's supposed to be more rounds, but that's cool. This is happening right now. And going with it. Not everybody swarming the middle, but also swarming around the sidelines. I would like everybody to make me a perception check.
Oh, I'm already rolling.
But wait,
we're gonna revolt right away, Waffles? Perfect.
You said perception?
Yes, please.
Because it's been a while. Where the fuck's perception?
There we go. I was waiting
We're
for
back,
it. Shit coming soon.
For real.
15.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
22.
13.
23.
13.
Oh my god, you two!
Amazing.
They said we're gonna play some Pathfinder. We're ready.
I can tell, you guys are just seeing everybody, like, the crowd going crazy and everything, and Tal, like, you do see, Chizire kind of have approaching with the crowd as well. Not just sitting down from there, and it seems to be looking at you.
Ark's like doing their best to like back up from the major crowd.
Okay. And you rolled a 15. Okay, so in doing so, you're kind of like distancing yourself, maybe too focused on the incoming crowd and don't see much else. Airfay, what was it that you rolled again?
23.
23, and then
22.
Hideaki, 22. Trying to think, what would you look at first? So, Hideaki. Maybe it's because you were on the sidelines and you were looking over to Tal and Ark after that winning moment, and you see across, kind of on the other side of the leshy bushes, seeming to be a distance from the rest of the crowd, you see Ignacy. And you see as this winning kind of takes over the crowd as well, you see them pick up their pen from their book, close their book, tuck it away, and turn around to walk away. Airfay, you've spent a lot of yourself here. Tell me, what would you be particularly paying attention to right now? Would you be looking at the crowd? Would you be looking at your team? What would be?
I would honestly Airfay would be paying more attention to her team, because she is very proud of what they just accomplished. So she's kind of in that admiration stage of, look at what you guys can do.
Amazing.
No way but you.
Ark.
Yeah.
You, if we recall, the winning kind of blow was a 1-2 punch of a creative use of the light spell to distract. A unique use of kind of cantrips and things like that, which you assisted, but Tal gave the killing blow, so to speak, though no killing actually happened. If you would be so kind to allow Airfay, with this perception, insight into a little bit of what Ark is thinking currently.
Like, currently?
Insight into potentially how Ark feels about this combat, about some of how it was handled. I know there was a moment where Hideaki countered exactly what you asked of Airfay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He kind of like looking him over and just getting a quick, like, he's silent, kind of staying like he usually is, but coming back to the sideline, he's seen somewhere between, he doesn't seem like winning this was a good thing. He seems somewhere between I'm trying to look for it. I know the second word, I'm trying to find the first word. Somewhere between like, yeah, that was supposed to happen, and disappointed. And like, you just see like this underlying tone of disappointment on his face, I would say, is like the biggest thing you can see with the perception.
Is there anything you would like to kind of give as for anybody else looking? What might that look like? So that's a perceptive Airfay seeing kind of a lot of those emotions. Is everybody else seeing maybe just disappointment? Just
like the, yeah, I expected this. Like some people might perceive it as confidence. Some people might perceive it as my words are escaping me today. Not disinterest. There's a word that starts with a D that means like, yeah, mutual, basically, like just a neutral look on his face.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So with that, Chazira seems to be trying to get your attention, Tal.
I would head over, because it's not Chazira doesn't get up for anyone.
Yeah.
And also I saw how excited they were during the whole thing, so like that kind of is feeding into this, like, you know, coming off of this high of doing something that like is now, you know, you do something like really cool and you don't think about it until afterwards, and everybody else is hype about it, and you're like, oh, oh yeah, that thing? That was actually dope. That's kind of where Tal is right now.
Amazing.
And so like has like a slowly and then very quickly building grin as they'll like kind of jog up to wherever Chizire is.
Perfect. Yeah, I kind of like pulls you a little bit to the side of the main crowd that's kind of like just really flooding the center of the area, and everyone's talking about the fight, and it's kind of breaking up into like little like just excited chattering groups and things like that as Chizire kind of like waves you down, and he's just like, that was so impressive.
It was something, wasn't it?
It was, you know, I could see the calculation in your eyes. That last strike, you pulled out the controls on purpose. That was thoughtful. It was decisive. That was good. It was very good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Kind of like is acting a little bit shy now.
Yeah. And he kind of looks you over and he's just like, maybe we'll brew some things for celebration tonight at the dorms if you would be interested.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite drink?
There's this fruit. It's kind of like a star-shaped fruit that we used to eat, and we would make it into a kind of pulpy juice. Something. I mean, I don't know exactly what it's called, but I mean we just called it a star fruit, but something like that.
You see this look in Chazire's eyes of like calculating, kind of like very much taking in every little detail of what that description was, and he just nods at you with this air of nonchalance of just like, sure, I can see if I can find something like that for you. Champion, of course. And he kind of turns to head out, and he kind of turns back to you after a second. You asked me before to open up a little bit, more than I was comfortable with at the time. But let's just say I know what it's like when people underestimate us and judge a book by its cover, and I don't think that's what you are. It's good to see. And he kind of just like, it seems to assembling himself from his own words of like not quite sure how to phrase it, but he's uncomfortable because he doesn't open up to people, and you see that, and he's like was trying to kind of like go back to you, and is just like and seems to go off the direction of not the dorms but Natambu, the city.
Tal is just kind of like standing there, not sure how to process this whole conversation, but the tip of her tail is just like
adorable. Amazing. And he goes off, and then you actually, because I forgot it's the GM, he pauses for a moment, glances back through the crowd towards where Hideaki is, kind of thinks for a second, goes back to you. I heard what he said about Mariama.
Right.
Just, she's a friend, and equally not to be judged without getting to know her.
I know that.
Yes. I'll
talk to him.
Okay. Sorry, it kind of like goes off. Slowly, the crowd kind of dies down, Mafika tries to corral people back for anybody that's looking to stay and continue to vie for their own attempts at winning as well. Y'all are welcome to stay and continue watching or make your way back.
I think in the midst of the chaos and celebration, I think especially seeing Ignacy, like it kind of pulls him like back out of like the moment of like elation. Mm-hmm. And he'll spin around and like Erfe, did you join that at all, or were you on the sidelines of the entire celebration?
She was a little more on the sidelines.
People did try to come to talk to you, Erfe, just as a heads up. People were trying to like, whoa, like that was so cool. What's that?
Yeah, as people, she wouldn't like back away from people approaching, but she definitely wouldn't try to put herself in the center of it all. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So he'll actually come back over to you with a bit of a kind of a half grin. Do you remember what Tal told you at the picnic?
Erfe would, but Star doesn't.
Valid.
You remember Tal talking about not seeing your capabilities yet?
Yes. Okay.
Well, they definitely can't say that about you now. And more importantly, and he just points out to the crowd, nobody else can either.
I think I'm where I'm supposed to be.
You're damn right. I'll give you a hug.
She will definitely return that.
As things die down and kind of start to disperse, maybe it's the coming down from the unexpected, conversation and the win, Tal. Maybe it's the reminder from Chazire. But as you all walk away from the field, kind of heading back, and you glance over at Hideaki, you hear his voice echo in your head with what he said just a little bit ago. You hear him say, Mariama deserves being unlucky. They aren't nice. I think she's a liar. I think she's manipulative. And the voice in your head morphs to the voice of your uncle as you hear one of the many times that he didn't seem to care that it was so easy for you to overhear him. When you hear him complaining to someone, anyone, it didn't really matter, that they just believe you. Just believe Tal. They're clearly just doing it for the attention. And the discomfort hits a little close to home. We can skip forward a little bit throughout the day, the evening. I'll start with you, Tal. Is this something that you're looking to talk to Hideaki today? Tomorrow? Now?
Probably later that night, for sure. Tal definitely wanted to stop by wherever Cesare was making these drinks. Because he invited them, so like they want to go. But yeah, sometime tonight for sure.
So
she would go and find him.
Perfect. So in regards to Chizire, it was still kind of like earlier in the day when this tournament was being held, kind of first thing in the morning. So in the early, late afternoon, early evening, Chizire, you know, kind of similar to where most get-togethers happen in the common room of your dorm area, you see that Chizire found the starfruit that you're talking about. And you know that it wasn't anywhere here in the Magaambya. You've not seen it in the food hall. They somehow made their effort and way, this lazy, so to speak, that's what everyone thinks, right? This lazy, nonchalant, doesn't put any effort Chizire seems to have found exactly the fruit that you were talking about, and has made an assortment of themed drinks out of it, some alcoholic, some not. And a few others kind of do get together, and you do notice that Mariama is not there.
I would ask him. Chizire is Chizire him, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. I would ask him then, where's Mariama?
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't seen her today. I haven't talked to her since yesterday, really.
Oh. I hope she's all right. I mean, she took the tournament wasn't too kind on her and their team.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And by the way, all of you guys can be there. Like, it's not just Tal, it's just kind of a celebration of y'all winning the tournament, so another kind of just get together.
I just got a private invite, don't worry about it.
VIP room, no big deal. Bottle service.
TP table with bottle service.
You would understand.
You wouldn't get it.
What do I say? It's
Listen,
really
I
just
know the
one
person
couch.
who's hosting this party, so like,
They have a signature cocktail named after me.
Sojourning song drink.
That's actually a pretty good. That's a pretty
It's
good
a
name
good
for a
I
drink.
would die.
So he kind of glances over to wherever Hideaki is, and he kind of shrugs a little bit and be like, well, it's not that he was particularly quiet. I don't know if word traveled to her and she's keeping away or not, but I will check in with her when she is ready.
Okay. I'm not very close friends with her, so I just want to make sure that she's okay.
Kind of nods, seeming to like grabbing like another drink or whatever and be like, here, try this. He's been making you like try different, because he tried to make like a bunch of different like kinds of things, and he's like, try this one. Meanwhile, kind of passes you another one, takes the one that
I'm
you
like
had in
going
your
back
hand.
and forth between like non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks.
Yes. I appreciate that. But here, so try this one. It's I added a little bit of kick to it. It's a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of chili as well, cayenne or whatever people call it here. And yeah, so and he kind of does that. And meanwhile, he's sitting and he's just like, basically happy to have some small talk with you. By the way, if you were curious about anything, just you can ask.
Okay.
Kind of seeing the
What?
discomfort, he kind of like awkwardly in his own way goes, I'm from Kibwe, if I didn't tell you that yet.
Oh.
Where did you say you're from?
Is that somewhere that I have traveled through? In my
That's a great
time?
question.
It's kind of hard because I've kind of been everywhere.
True.
I'm well
looking-
traveled.
Your legs.
I'm so
setter.
nervous. My nervous setting, by the way, apparently is stereotypical Valley Girl. So that's
Yeah,
where I'm
that's, see, I
My
feel
fear
this.
comes out.
It's how you can tell I'm scared.
Since I'm terrible and don't fully know the map of the Magaambya or anything, we're gonna. It's definitely somewhere within the Magaambya, or within the Wangi Expanse rather, which is around where you traveled. So let's say yes.
It's
Let's
like
say-
maybe I haven't been there then, but maybe I have I've heard of it
Yes,
before.
you've
like
definitely
we've
heard of
traveled
it.
past it or something like that. Okay.
Where did you say you came from?
Oh, that's a harder question to answer. I'm from we travel a lot. I'm from a circus, a group of performers, known as the Sojourning Song.
And you see his ears kind of like perk up a little bit, turn your way. Like, whoop. Oh, that sounds familiar. So, you traveled growing up? You didn't.
Yeah. This is actually the first time that I've been somewhere for this long. I've kind of
So you
traveled
didn't-
my whole life.
Did you ever go to like a school like this as a
No,
child?
this is the first time I've ever been to anything like this, really.
It's lucky.
Why do you say that?
Structured learning is not everyone's forte, and to have the freedom to pursue your interests sounds fun. It's what I since picked up here, but it wasn't the way when I was young.
I suppose so. There's a lot that you miss out on, though. I've come to realize it's a lot harder to do structured learning when you've not had a basis of structured learning before. So it's
But you're intelligent. You can find a way to make it work for you. Do you want to study together? Which is
sure.
saying something, because I really don't study. Just kind of says it out loud to like anybody that might be listening to like keep up this kind of air of like I don't study.
But I mean that means that you must be very smart then. If you don't have to study.
That's not what people used to tell me. I make a diplomacy check for me.
La 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 la. 10.
You want to use a hero point?
No, I only have one, and I'm gonna save that for a more important conversation.
Did you have 3?
No, I did, and then I spent them on a killer fight.
Okay, go.
So now I have one.
I did, and now I don't.
They didn't seem to matter.
The economy. Roll credits.
Those gas prices, man.
I had it, then I spent it.
And then it's gone.
When I was younger, it didn't matter how many books or lessons were drilled into my head. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to. That's all. But I found other ways to learn that are better suited for me, because I found that people do things the way they know how to do them. That doesn't mean that they do them the right way for me. If this isn't working for you, kind of like points outside to like one of like the school buildings or whatever, then find a way to make it work for you.
Okay. I think it would be nice to see how other people study.
He kind of grins, like a cheeky grin, and goes around to like make another drink or whatever. And the night continues. I'm gonna check in real quick. Anything from that evening onwards that, from that tournament to the evening, that anybody needs to pay attention?
Oh my god, this food is amazing. I am absolutely okay. I actually think this might be my favorite day since I've been here. It was a little weird for a little while. But I'm really happy. I'm really happy, and like we got a really great win, and I'm over the moon. I'm really excited. And he'll say that to literally 1,000 people over and over and over and over and over and over.
Amazing.
And I will say that at some point, if he and Tal make eye contact, you see something a little different.
Tell me something, Tal. Do you avoid Hideaki?
Oh, I do not avoid Hideaki. No. However, every time Tal hears Hideaki go to another group and have another conversation about how much we won and how they're on top of the world and we really killed it out there and everything like that, she just gets a little bit more frustrated.
Excellent.
But no, like, Tal's not actively avoiding you. It just happens that Tal is not in most of the conversations that you're in. There's a lot of people that want to talk to Tal. There's a lot of people that want to talk to Tal, you know?
But I also think it's fair to say that he knows that this conversation is coming as well.
But yeah, you would absolutely catch Tal's eye at some point, yeah.
Tal using that high perception just to be actively on the opposite side of the room.
Yeah, I love that. It's like its own like meme. I love that. But
behind this conveniently shaped plant.
I'm just imagining now the like boyfriend looking at the other person meme, but it's like Tal is the boyfriend looking at the starfruit drink.
That's amazing.
With Hideaki in the background as the other.
Wow. But like place the girlfriend that looks back like annoyed, but like further away from Tal.
like on the other side of the room.
Alex, get to work.
Okay. Tell me.
But what is interesting though, out of those 1,000 people, the minute that he actually catches you eye to eye, you see him like emotionally break for like just a second. Like, you know that like whatever, spoilers for No Way Home, it's been out forever, get used to it. When Andrew Garfield catches like MJ,
yes,
and then just like breaks like just like little bit, that's what you see. And then he never talks about it in a braggadocious way at all the rest of the night.
Okay.
Oh.
Is there a realization of like, oh, I done fucked up kind of a thing?
No, it's you're gonna have to roll an insight check to find out about that.
All right.
Can I?
Yeah. I mean, if it's from the moment that you guys made eye contact, totally.
Yes.
Make me a perception check.
13.
Do you want to roll against this, or do you want it to be?
I would like to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Certainly. Yeah, that's a 22 deception, so.
You see a look across Hideaki's eyes. You can't quite place it. when they glance at you, but you, as you're continuing to kind of not be in the conversations that they're in, just kind of goes on from there. I'm gonna check in with Airfay for a moment. You are heavily in your curse form.
Oh, I am hard cursing right now.
Straight up cursing.
Straight up cursing right now.
Straight up cursing, y'all.
So my dog, Marcus, enough. Come on. He's like, mom, you're laughing too much.
There's supposed to be emotional damage.
So, do you go to your room at all to just kind of try to like meditate a second, try to bring that down a little bit?
I mean, not right away. I mean, she definitely knows she needs to. It's an odd thing for her of she recognizes what this curse is, but she's not really afraid of it as much as sometimes she thinks she should be. Mostly because it's something that she knows can harm her, but at the same time she sees it as the necessity to do what she does. Right. So it kind of falls in that nice self-sacrificing thing she does. But you know, she did notice that everyone is at the party, so she's kind of being there at this point for a little bit. And I guess this is kind of the first time everybody's really seen her in her major curse, because other times she's gone straight into refocus down. So I guess I'm kind of imagining like while she's standing there, her like wisp curse is like going out and just touching people, and like minor cuts and bruises are kind of disappearing as her like pushes out, because she is like, it's hard life essence leaving her at this point.
Can you make me let's call it a diplomacy check, and you want 10 and up.
I want 10. Well, I have a +8, so
all right, 12 and up.
28.
Amazing. Holy crap.
Thank you, Snitch.
So if you had rolled any lower, people may have been off-putted by it. But you walking around with this, maybe embracing it yourself a little bit, maybe with that little bit of confidence, instead people are fascinated by it and seem to kind of want to engage you in that conversation and ask you about it. So I will ask, is there any point that you step away or otherwise isolate, or do you stay and mingle and talk with everybody as they approach you and ask you all sorts of questions about your magic?
So I guess for her at this point, it kind of depends. Is Ark here? Did Ark come to the party, or did you disappear out?
He definitely showed up at some point and stayed for at least a little while.
Okay. So I guess I should ask then, Waffles, for you, and this is totally up to what Ark would do. If she did chat with people for a little while, would Ark still be there, or would he be gone at that point?
I'm gonna roll a dice. Hold on.
Best way to decide.
I think it's completely up to chance. So.
I love it.
Let's see. I think. Okay. Below a 13, he's still there. Above a 13, he's
okay.
There. All right, he's still there.
Okay.
Nice.
So I guess she'd be talking just a little bit because she knows people are going to be curious about it, but she would eventually look for Ark just because she did see that like look of almost disappointment after a success. So she will kind of wait until no one's around him too much. And then she'll just kind of walk over and just like kind of that thing of like when people are at a party and they're talking, but they don't really want to be like face to face. She'll just kind of like go up next to him so they're side by side.
Lean against the wall next to you, like, yo, sup?
And just go, so how do you feel it went today?
I think it could have gone better.
I did notice you seemed kind of disappointed.
It's not quiet.
Why? Why?
I just believe that we as a unit, a team, could have done better in the end. I think there was some overreaching, and that caused us to undershoot.
I guess how you could see it that way. I guess I'm curious, Ark, is it because we weren't perfect?
That would be another way to say we could do better, yes. Because if you can't do better, then you would be perfect.
That's fair. Do you think perfect's the requirement?
I think it is the goal.
That makes sense.
If you do not strive for perfection, why try?
I can agree with you there. But I counter your idea. Why not be happy in the successes you get there, rather than being disappointed that you're not at the finish line?
You see him think for a long minute on it, as if he's considering it. He says, I could agree, but I do believe that while success and happiness works for one, disappointment can work for another.
You know, that makes sense too. I think, as silly as it sounds, I think you and I kind of think the same way. We just react to it a little differently.
You seem like
But I think we both...
Sorry. You seem like actually
No, go
turn
ahead.
his head and look at you for a second.
I think we both want to be perfect. And I think you're considerably closer than I am. And she's actually like gonna get up and kind of start walking away a little bit and turn around and keep walking backwards. But why not be happy with what we do so far and then be extra happy when we get to the end? And then she's just gonna kind of walk to her room.
You forgot the mic on your way out.
Mic drop.
I think for her, part of it is she knows that Ark's not really an emotional person, so she doesn't want to make Ark sit in it.
Right.
Because she also agrees with Ark to a point that, you know, it's how to get there. And I think she's just one of those people that gets happy the closer she gets. And Ark is a person that kind of feels like he needs to push himself with disappointment until he gets there, and then he can be happy.
And then you said you go to your room?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go in my room because I'm getting tired.
So Ark, as you're kind of left with that, and Airfay, you walk towards your room. As you go into your room and you close the door and you step in, you hear a voice say, "So are you going to listen to your own advice?"
In what way? Can she see this individual? Or is it just the voice at this point? She's gonna look around.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
Ooh, okay, this is where I wanted that 28. I'm not gonna get it now.
Yo, if you got channel points and you want to give us hero points, you can do that.
You can.
Please.
Give us a chicken nuggie.
Give chicken nuggets to us, please.
I will take that 15.
Okay. So you're kind of like looking around the room for a second. And at first you don't see anything. You kind of glance over the letter from Infar that you put up there, but then you covered till it only showed a little bit. Do you remember what it said? What is it?
Oh, I don't remember the exact wording, but it's something along the lines of "let them be a distraction."
Don't let them be a distraction.
Yeah. So so he said, "Don't let them be a distraction," and she covered up the "don't" part, and then she uncovered it, and then she covered it back up. Yeah, it's a back and forth thing.
Gotcha. You kind of glance at that, and you're about to kind of like just answer the voice, thinking, okay, well, it's just a voice, when you look away from that and you see the shadow at your feet. Except it's in front of the light source, not behind it.
Oh.
And you look down and you're like, is that it? Is that what's coming from?
At that point, she is going to kind of think about Tal saying she saw a shadow when she was talking to her patron, deity, demon, whatever it is that's connected to her. And she's
it's not a big deal. It's
not a big
deal. Yeah.
her shadow demon. Wait, that's mine. And anyway, she's gonna just kind of sit down and she's gonna put her hand on the shadow.
The shadow, like where? Like you're just touching it, like you're gonna kind of like reach hand for hand, kind of a thing. Like,
I guess I don't. She would just kind of see if she can come into contact with it in some way. I guess it's not reaching for anything in particular, but just kind of like gonna sit down on the floor and just kind of like rest her fingers on it.
Okay, so you sit down on the floor and you watch the shadow match your movements as a shadow would. And as you stare at it, then you go to reach out for it. It's the opposite hand that mimics yours instead.
Okay. At least I'm not crazy.
No, you're not. Why would you ever think that?
It's not normal to hear voices.
I'm not a voice.
That's oddly comforting, actually.
It's nice now that you're growing stronger. Feels like you can talk to me a little bit easier. I can talk to you a little bit easier.
It's much more clear.
But the advice that I was talking about potentially enjoying the process, enjoying your life, don't you think you deserve that?
I do a little more.
A little more?
I still have a job to do.
What job?
I need to get better for the village. I need to take care of them. They've taken care of me for as long as I can remember. I need to pay that back.
Have they? You hear like venom in the voice. As long as you can remember. What about before that?
Well, I mean, they've told me the stories so that the village has always been there.
You're so trusting, Arafe.
She's actually kind of feels slightly attacked by that. Something hits her that feels wrong. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't know why.
What feels wrong? The attack from the voice or
the too trusting part? It feels like something she's... It feels like something she should remember.
Got it. Yes.
Like it pings something somewhere and she can't place it.
You're too trusting, and I'm sorry. That's my problem, not yours. Just think for yourself is all. Live for yourself. If you want to help the village, fine. But grow stronger for yourself.
I think I can do that. But I think I need more of a motivator than just me.
How about me? Can you
What
help
can
me?
I help? What do you need help with?
This isn't me. I'd like to be me again.
What happened to you?
And you hear this like thought and pause and kind of unsurety in a response. Perhaps that's a story for another time.
That's fair. You need to be comfortable sharing that. But now that we can actually speak and, no longer the voice, what can I call you?
Call me Yafira.
I like that name. You've been with me since I can remember, so I also want to say thank you.
I've always been with you, Arafe. Always. I want you to remember.
Maybe you can help me with that?
I don't know that... Well, I can only try. You have to remember.
I'm kind of hoping as I get stronger, maybe I can.
I hope so too. Arafe, what did they tell you? How did you lose your memory?
Well, we had an issue with a demon in our village that was attacking, and I somehow figured out how to banish it back to the shadow realm. But because of everything I had to do, everything is gone. They told me that was the sacrifice that I made. And now I just need to get it back.
How noble of you. Always making sacrifices for others. What was the demon's name?
Renala, I believe it was.
You see the shadow hand kind of like touch yours, and you see, because you're kind of still there with your hand like gently on the shadow, and you see kind of the shadow cross over your hand and like kind of almost interlace fingers with you before letting go.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's gonna pull back slightly just because something came out, but go back.
That pullback kind of jolts the shadow back as well. And as you go back, they don't.
I'm sorry.
You don't hear a response.
She's just gonna whisper, I'm very sorry.
And you kind of watch the shadow shift to where a shadow should be as you feel the presence gone.
So she's gonna sit there a little bit longer just to see if Yafira comes back. And after she doesn't, she's going to absolutely feel terrible. Because she just realized that even she hurt this entity that's been with her for so long. And then she's going to go in a very distressed meditation to try and refocus. And it's going to, I will say because she's upset by this, she's going to take her like 3 times as long to be able to refocus down.
All right. Yeah, every time you kind of go into the meditative state, you kind of like, you get out of it glancing at the shadow, glancing at any movement that you think you imagine you see.
Every small sound that's coming in, I think it's maybe them coming back and...
Yeah. Okay. Ark, is there anything else that you do after Airfey leaves you with those words?
He stews on them for 5-6 minutes, which is like longer than he stews on basically anything. And then he goes back to his room.
Yep.
Pulls out a notebook or a notepad or piece of paper or whatever and begins writing a letter.
Letters, as we know on this show, only mean one thing. More emotional damage.
Emotional damage! And Mama
All
Bear
right.
syndrome!
Bring it on, Ark. Bring it on.
Alright, he writes, Iska, I do not personally believe myself to be stupid. If I could remind you, I do not make mistakes, especially costly ones. I can clearly see you do not expect death to provide power as it did this one, though. I appreciate your advice. As far as necromancy goes, the process of life energy and its manipulation does not fascinate me in the slightest. A tournament was won today, though I imagine we could have done better. I myself do not believe I could have done better. Tonight and then he gets like celebrat, that much of the word out, scribbles it out, and beside it writes disregard. I find myself having problems in classes that deal with nature and magic, thus I am switching to the more arcane of classes. I hope to provide you a clearer path and proper update next letter. Until then, or until you deem it necessary, I will not write. If this letter finds you unwell, my apologies, Ark 2.
Poor child that just... Why do I have to be Iska sometimes, I wonder?
I love this robot person, and I will die for them.
I love Ark's spin on, hope you're well.
Yeah. If this letter
If you're
finds you
not,
unwell,
oops,
my bad.
I'm sorry.
It's like a little insight. It's because he knows that like a couple of things in the letter and the last letter and like how he's been thinking recently are overstepping his bounds, like what he is normally like to Iska. So he like while he still does it, he sees it and writes the like my apologies kind of thing.
Perfect. So you kind of write that out, fold it up, get it ready to mail. You can mail it the next day. Which leaves 2 individuals at the party.
Who? Us?
Who's that?
It's Chizira and Miriyama, actually.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm down to sit here for
Roleplay
30
with
minutes and
yourself.
watch Syrup roleplay with yourself.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep those accents in check.
Yeah, 'cause
There
I'm
will be
so
a
good at
test.
that.
I mean, it's just a drunken cult, right? That's all it is.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
I do that
That's
every
the
day.
shirt we need. Let's get drunk and make a joke.
Speaking of
Step one.
step 1,
Drunk.
drink. Step 2, make a cult. Well, step 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 3, made a cult. So you mentioned, Tal, that you were drinking some alcoholic, some non. Would you like let yourself get a little drunk tonight or anything like that? Do you think?
I think a little bit. Definitely like a little past tipsy. But not an overwhelming
Sloppy.
amount.
Yeah.
100%. That's not Tal's jam. But they definitely, like, Cesare did give them a lot of things to try. And they were not shy about drinking it. So, they still definitely have, like, their wits about them and everything. But they have had enough that talking is a little easier.
What was that pause there? That was
It was me forgetting the word that I wanted to say. That was me bleeding in there.
I was totally gonna make it a character, but yes. Now Hideaki, I know we have to pass an insight check to know fully how it's going for you, but tell me, these emotions that you're dealing with, how are you handling them? Are you drinking more than usual in response of discomfort?
A decent amount, but remembering what happened with the mysterious green drink, he's learning from that experience, and he's being a little bit more careful.
Okay. So I'm not gonna force anything. There's others in this people like hanging out. You guys just go to bed afterwards and everything's great and dandy?
No, because we still
Okay.
have a telepathic bond for a couple more hours at least.
I forgot about that.
I've been thinking about that myself.
Aha. So towards like, as the party looks like it's maybe either one of two things. It's either winding down or it's like getting like party.
Next stage.
Yeah, right. Whatever the next phase of this party is, Hideaki would just hear Tal in his head say, "Can we take a walk?"
There's a bit of a pause, and you hear where Habram jumped off. Meet you outside.
Okay, so there's two places that could be. Either it's the big jumpy
It's the top
tower.
of it's the
The
tower.
big jumpy tower? Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Because I'm also
couldn't think of the
thinking
word,
the
so
building
I was
that
just
Habron
like-
fell off of.
No, I would not do that
Oh
to
my
you.
god.
I would not do
A
that
very
to you.
different place.
I have other emotional damage to do.
Hey, remember that time where you nearly fucked him up? Let's go there.
That was great.
Want to meet by our special tree in the forest?
Oh my god. Twice the
That would be
night.
something that Jacob would do as a GM. Hideaki would.
Okay. I would make my way out there.
And I think he has a travel drink with him.
Oh, Tal definitely also did. Tal does too. Tal brought whatever they were drinking. And doesn't really say anything when they come out. They just kind of like give you like a little like, not quite a smile, but kind of more than just a neutral face kind of smile of acknowledgement, and then they just start walking, not quickly in any way, but they just start walking.
Before you do that, you hear a loud exhale, and he gives you a big hug. And you feel your left shoulder is getting a little bit wet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, we can walk. It's okay.
Yeah. I think Tally's gonna start walking because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of
Sure.
people right now.
Sure.
I think, and I don't think that they're gonna walk very far at all. I think what they're gonna do is they're just going to like move off to like around the corner of like the dorm, as opposed to the longer walk that they had envisioned.
Sure.
But just like out of the way, you know. And they'll kind of cross their arms and say, "Why are you sorry exactly?"
Well, no, I just that was probably a lot. I probably should have. I'm in a really interesting space right now emotionally. I've realized something about me. And that is I've never I'm green. I'm super green. I don't have the thing with me, but I'm super green. And it's that I don't think no, let me start over. I thought before coming here that I was right about everything, confident about a lot, knew myself really well, and that it was okay that the person that I cared about the most was me. And then you happened. And then I lost you. And when I was holding you, coming back from the forest, and you were cold, and you were gone, and I felt that I failed you, I realized that you were the first person I cared about more than myself. And that's why when I look at you, something weird happens with my face. Because I'm so happy that you're back. And then when you wanted to go in that third time, and I really wanted to too, I realized that I would be happier if you won than if I did. And I don't even know why I feel this way, Tal.
Tal, you see this, and you still hear at the same time how prior to that they said they think she's a liar, she's manipulative, and how confident that was at that time.
Hideaki, do you believe me? When I came back and I was talking about the place I went, do you actually believe me?
100%. And I think even more importantly, even if it's not true, I want it to be.
But if it's not true, then you're willfully believing a lie.
Maybe. That's just it. I was so obsessed with being right all the time that that's not that important to me, at least right now.
It was important to you a few hours ago. You said some terrible things about Mariama. Terrible things about her. You said that she was a liar. That she was just manipulating people? That maybe she just wanted this for attention? You don't know her. She
he
and
takes
I
a
might be
moment.
more similar than you think. Things that happen to us. And if she's a liar, if you think she's a liar and manipulative and you can't believe what she says, I'm not very different from her. So what do you think that sounds like from me? Someone you've spent time with, but you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. How many times I've heard that?
He like lets that like wash completely over him. That would actually make sense to me. I don't hate her, Tao. I don't even dislike her, actually. I think she's a fascinating individual. When I was little, I would, if ever I got in trouble to the point of panicking because I couldn't figure something out, I would cause a distraction. And in that moment, when you were saying what you said, I panicked and became that again. I recognize it's also bad that, like, saying it's not just bad to say those things about someone. It's bad to, maybe it's worse that I don't even believe any of those things. But I do know if that's the case about her, and that's the case about you, then it's also the case for me. And that, I guess, means that it's an even playing field.
Hideaki, it's never been an even playing field. You've had so much more given to you than I have, and possibly even Mariama has. You know how I grew up? I grew up in the circus. I grew up learning things from people telling me them. You had so much given to you, and I'm not saying that everything was perfect, but you had so much more than we did. You always get to win, Hideaki. You've always won.
I lost when I lost you.
I'm still here, though, so you still won.
No, but you weren't. It wasn't so great then either. I considered leaving the school entirely. Okay, it's fair to say that, I don't know everything about you. Oh man, I don't know everything. I said it. I've never said those words out loud before.
I hope you mean them someday. I'm sorry, that was mean.
He looks down at the ground and just like eats it. Just takes that one on the chin.
They're hurt. You hear in your head, Hideaki. Not much you can do right now to undo that. Give them time.
I want to know if you're interested in telling me about everything. And I want you to know about mine too. At least it's nice out.
I want to know you more. I do. I want to know more about you, and I want you to know more about me, and because I think in a lot of ways we are similar. There are ways that we are similar. There are expectations that we put on you. You made this facade for yourself that you started to believe that you knew everything and that you could do anything because people expected you to know everything and to do anything. And people saw you that way. They saw you in one way. And
Is
I
it
know
so
that you're more than just...
wrong to manifest those desires?
What was the first word, sir? I didn't catch that.
Is it so wrong to manifest those desires? You know you don't know everything, but you're learning. You're here to learn more and grow. I chose you for your potential.
He says this to Overnosa and to Tall at the same time, even though Overnosa would certainly hear it. But I used to say when I got here that I would do whatever it took, step on whoever I needed to get to the top. It appears my heart is too big. And I don't want that. It's not worth it. You know, I was thinking about earlier, assuming that this conversation was going to happen, I even considered a way to maneuver it and think about a situation around, like, okay, because being at the top of the class, like, you're going to have threats and people that want to take your spot. So then just make an enemy out loudly, and then it's there. You don't have to look behind and make sure that someone's not doing things behind your back. And then I realized none of that actually matters. Because I'd rather be friends with them. And every time I think about something negative, you know what happens to me? I think about the time you looked at that kid in the city and you made them happy. And then I went and did the same when we did those letters. And it felt good. I thought I wanted to replace Teacher Rob because he was terrible. He's amazing. I've been wrong so much now. And I'm okay with it for the first time in my entire life. Will you help me?
Tal is already moving and is going to give you a very big hug.
glad that you're trying.
Who knew it was okay to be not perfect? Starts
I
chuckling.
did. You could have just asked.
The difference is I wanted to be, or at least close to it.
Why?
Because I thought that was the right thing to do.
Who told you that?
My father.
Hideaki, you realize that no one has said those words to you, ever. No one has told you you have to be perfect. But everyone's continued to push you.
Perfection is made up by people who want to control things. It's something that's made up because someone somewhere decided that if they were going to be better than others, others needed to know what the bar was so that they could never achieve it.
Perfection is arbitrary.
That explains why me and my father aren't on great terms. I imagine this is all still said like mid-hug, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the thing is I know what I want long term, but I don't know outside of, getting great grades and looks over to the tower and starting a hang gliding business. I still need to do that. I don't know what I want right now.
You do?
No, that's wrong too.
Your heart is big, Hideaki. You want to protect the ones you love. I see it clearly. But to do that, you must have the strength to do so.
I still don't want what happened to us to happen to anybody else. And maybe that's enough for now.
Me too.
I'm glad you're in my classes.
Me too. I'm gonna give you like a little tighter squeeze.
Yeah. More drink?
Yeah.
You wind down, going back inside. And the day ends. Small pause.
I'm fine.
Yeah, small pause for this amazingness as well as a huge kudos. Tal and Hideaki, please take a hero point each.
I already had 3.
Holy damn, you two. Holy damn.
That was amazing. You guys are amazing. That was wow. Okay. Okay. With that, I was about to go to something. With that, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. That's what's gonna happen right now.
Love you all. Holding on to that was so difficult.
Yes.
I haven't written any notes since you two started because I could not stop watching.
I also like to think that like that type of like peanut gallery commentary happens all the time.
That was incredible. Thank you for that.
Yeah, even though I don't always jump in as his voice, as Overnose's voice, like, I think Hideaki's very used to that kind of commentary in the background.
It's like this second guessing sort of like conscience indicator of like, nope, you're about to lie right now.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he was, I'm so glad you interrupted, because he was about to totally throw his father under the bus.
Amazing. All right, friends, please stretch your legs at home, refresh your drinks, do what you gotta do. We'll be back here shortly. So please, we got. You think this is all we have tonight? We got more. So
We're only halfway done.
yeah, we're only halfway there. So come on down and join us in just a little bit. Look at these amazing players. How amazing is everybody? Look at this. So good. All right, guys. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We took an extra long break because we were here laughing at all the memes. So, you know, there's that. Highly encourage y'all to just go over to the Discord, look at Alex's amazing memes. Never fails. I have more to catch up on. I only glanced at a few, Alex. I haven't
There you go. I'm so proud of you. Look at you.
Okay, so we're back. Here's what we're gonna do now. We wound down the day, the emotionally charged day of the tournament. And now we're back to some passing of time. Classes continue, and something different for Arc, however, because Arc has switched branches. Arc is no longer about that nature leaf stuff. Psh, nobody cares. Psh, no. We're here for the Arcana. We're here for the knowledge and the magic. And so Arc is switching over. Sorry. I was not ready
That's
for
Arc's mood at all times.
I love that little angry
So cute.
jellyfish.
How you feeling there, Ark? Same as, that's
His
a damning
name
and
is
why.
Jerry. That's Gary. That's Gary. And the other
Amazing.
one's Jerry. Okay, sorry. I'm done. Legit not ready for that. So what branch are you switching to, Arc? Do you happen to know?
The Cascade Berries? Question mark.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, welcome.
That is correct.
We
No.
like strawberry tarts.
Yes.
In doing so, when you switch on over to the Cascade Bears, well, you find yourselves in a lot more classes with Hideaki, Tao, and a few others. And more particularly with a concentration of teacher art. So let's take a look as time passes a little bit at what this may look like. Now, for mechanical purposes of studying, we talked in the past about how there's the study downtime activity and there's the cram downtime activity. And I believe in talking to you prior, you were looking to cram as a way to catch up on lost time.
Yup.
Cool. So, in cramming, tell me, how does Arc go about this in the sense of, obviously you attend classes, do you follow up with teacher art for extra work? What are you trying to do to make that up? Or do you spend it alone? Do you kind of go to the library? Do you try to pick as much as you can? Like how?
Mostly go to the library, just pick out as much as they can, and then like bring the books back. Ark is that type of person that, like, since they don't care about the social aspect of anything that much, is struggle the right word? It would struggle even, like, their social life would struggle even more when they're cramming, kind of thing. And then they would talk to the teacher a little bit, but it would just to get like content recommendations, like what book should I read next? Come the next day, okay, I finished that one, what book should I read next? And like they don't want like work or anything.
Well, they might not want it, but after the first or second time of kind of approaching Teacher Ott with, all right, I read this book, what's next? And realizing that Teacher Ott kind of looks at you, realizes that you're devouring these books in a yes, I read it, I registered it next. That doesn't always translate to retaining or understanding or practicing of that knowledge. And while you do some of that in class, he realizes, I think, very quickly that you're looking to catch up. Now, in your time of attendance at these classes, you've seen a certain student shine. A natural 20 student. One who Teacher Ott uses for demonstrations. One that Teacher Ott instructs to help some of the other students in the class. That can be found in office hours. That other student is, of course, Hideaki. It shows the angry.
And he's back.
So seeing your eagerness to absorb a lot of this information and knowing that Hideaki here is equally top of the class, so to speak, with these demonstrations and such, Teacher Ott goes to you and suggests you pair up. And kind of goes to you, Ark, one of those times that you're at his office asking for what else to read. Tell me, Ark, how do you best learn?
By collecting the knowledge.
Do you find yourself applying the knowledge you absorb through reading instinctively? Do you need to practice? And you know, Ark, from previous, like, you've had to practice magic. It doesn't always a one-to-one translation.
He mulls it over for a second, thinks about saying, like, oh, it's instinctual, and then says, I need to practice like anyone. Good. I'm glad you recognize that in yourself. Knowing how you learn, that's a good skill. But I see you eager. I see you finished those 2 books already, and I had intended that to be something that you absorb over the course of the week. But you said that you read it all last night? Yes.
Have you had the time to practice?
If something was hard at first, then yes, but otherwise I saw no need for it until the working class.
Kind of looks at the time for a second. My office hours will be momentarily. Hideaki should be here soon to help some of the other students that are asking for a little bit extra attention. I'd like you to shadow him today. Take a look at how he teaches some of the other students. And let me know your observations.
Do you not believe that to be a waste of time?
Do you think I'd ask it of you if I did?
Ark doesn't answer.
Not long after, Hideaki.
So actually, when you cast Gale Blast, it's more of a woof and down. So if you go the opposite way, it's more of an acid splash, and you really don't want to mix those two. That would not be very smart. Personally, my favorite is actually more of the electric arc variation. Oh, hey, Arc Dude, how's it going?
Hi, Hideaki.
All right, ready for office hours?
Sure. I believe I am following you today.
Oh, that's great. We can, if you want, you can come up to. I assume there's a board, like that kind of thing. Yeah, he'll spend whatever class this is. Yeah, he'll assist, and then he'll make a point. Yeah, go ahead.
So, with office hours not being the usual class time, people come with difficulties or questions or issues that they're trying to overcome in particular. And from your time, Hideaki, you know that for some students, it is going through the practice, right? Like kind of like math class, being like, hey, just remember the rules, right? So it's like you said, like if you left, it's acid splash, right? It's Gale Blast, like those types of things. But for some students, you've noticed, because you've been doing this for a little bit now, it's not that. For some students, they need the individualized back and forth. You don't need to teach them. They know it, but they need that talking to that helps them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, I mean, he's not got the gift of gab or anything. Psych, he totally does. He's so good, super down for that.
And for others, it is when it's talked at them in like lectures in class, they just don't absorb it. But when you write it down for them, it seems to be enough to when they do that. So you do some copies of certain things and you try to write some sigils and show them and teach them that way.
Yeah, that's when he
Those
goes
are some
to
of the
the
things-
board.
Tal goes to office
Yes.
hours a lot. Like a lot. Like there are a lot. Like
Yeah.
all the
Amazing.
time.
Yep.
And-
Prior to that conversation that we had, and now also maybe because of that conversation.
And Hideaki, you Teacher Odd has come to you in particular and not just asked you to help in teaching office hours because you're doing so well with the material, but to help him with his project, if you recall. To help him with identifying how do people best learn here. And so you're making note of this. So when Ark comes to shadow you, you think that this is likely because of his project, about the how to teach, and less about the material.
Interesting, because that is 100% the opposite of what I was thinking. So that is fascinating. Okay, cool. So you
Now,
probably would
whether
have
Ark
pulled me
knows this
aside.
or not, that's separate.
Yeah, so I would imagine Art would have pulled me aside and been like, so here's the thing about I don't know why I'm Marlon Brando now, but anyway, so like, yeah.
Yeah, actually, Ott doesn't really direct you in any way. He just lets you
that's
know
actually
that
more interesting. Cool.
Ark
Gives some
is
space,
shadowing
right.
you today.
Cool. Yeah, and I think he'll make a point to sort of do all of the above. Like, and he typically doesn't. Like, he would 100% spend some like individual time, but I think he would make a point to have like a sweeping swath of like, these are like, how about this, and then this, and then this. And spend that time. And I think like what's interesting about this situation is like he's I mean, I wouldn't know, he's not short-tempered, but like he can get there, but he never gets frustrated because he's in his element. So
He's in a position of teaching, and therefore he doesn't have to like prove himself or otherwise. It's about helping the other person.
yeah.
So go ahead and make me let's call it diplomacy check to see how well you're teaching today.
Oh boy. We're gonna go ahead and use a hero point on that one. That's not much better. That's diplomacy, right?
Yeah.
That's a 15.
A 15. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Ark, make me a perception check.
Oh gosh. Every skill I'm bad at.
What do your elf eyes see? I mean, android eyes see.
13.
13. Okay. So, you tell me, Waffles, what Ark is picking up from this. There's nothing material-wise that you don't know, because they're going over what was taught in class, which, of course, you picked that up.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, and feel free to correct me if this doesn't fit the scope of what's happening, I think Ark seems to latch onto when Hideaki makes even the smallest of mistakes. And or a different way that Ark would do it. Like Hideaki's like, here's how you cast this cantrip. And Ark's like, well, I cast it through my staff. Like it doesn't even have to be a mistake. It can just be Ark does it different. And like, when it's something that requires Ark to be like, well, that's not how I do it, or this is the right way, then he seems to pick up on it way better and learn quicker.
Yeah, and I think when that happens...
Sorry, the last bit,
go ahead.
when it's not... Say it again?
That's not the way I would do it, or that's not the right way.
Then you pick it up quicker?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like when he like... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Because like if it's wrong, or AKA not how Arc 2 would do it, you say so. But if it's the way that Arc 2 does it in that way, like then it's fine, and you connect the dots.
Listens a little less, doesn't have to practice it, like doesn't make that logic jump.
Yeah, makes sense to me. And I think like even when he, as I forget that I have ears on, I'm a professional, no big deal. I'm teaching, don't worry about it. And I think he would absolutely, every time that happens, he's like, that's great. There are multiple ways to get to the end of the rainbow.
You realize, interestingly, Hideaki, that for some people, this confuses them. They're like, wait, do I do it this way or do I do it that way?
Right.
But you also know that there's some people that latch onto that.
Yeah.
And are like, oh, that way makes more sense to me.
Yeah. And I think latching onto that specifically, he would say, you, like, especially for like the folks that are getting it, this isn't my spell. This isn't his, her, or their spell. This is your spell. So take it and make it your own. Just start here and then build on it.
Yeah, this is the famous, like, it's not math, it's not 2 + 2. You can write an essay 15,000 ways. Like,
well, the imaginary numbers and
yes. Amazing. And so this happens. Now, you have office hours. Tal, you're probably there as well at one point, and coming to ask questions. And tell me, would you be in the camp of this is more confusing or more helpful? When you have people going, well, I don't do it that way, I do it this way.
Exceptionally confusing. Because the more people are saying the more different ways to do things, the more Tal is like, well, I don't know what way to do anything anymore. I don't know how I even did it anymore.
Yep. Perfect.
Opportunities to change it then.
How did I do this originally?
And I
How did I
think
even
one
get
of
in this
those,
room?
Where am
one
I?
of those times where this is Tal, so perhaps it's because Hideaki and Ark, to an extent, are a little bit more comfortable with you, and so when Tal's confused about something, because they overheard like Ark try to correct Hideaki about something and be like, well, no, not that way, this way, and then they're like, wait, now what? And then both of you, Ark and Hideaki, jump in to try to teach, and you watch Tal get more confused, but Tal, you notice soon that they're not teaching you anymore. They're arguing with each other.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because you're not getting it.
Yeah.
So, no, let me try it this way. No, let me try it this way.
It's on
And
page
it gets
232. I literally just said that.
but they haven't tried it this way.
Okay. You two need to stop. Just stop. Stop.
It's okay. We'll take a
No. It's not okay because I'm getting frustrated. Watching the two of you try to best each other. Hideaki, we literally had a conversation about this. This is not a competition.
That's why I said we should take a break.
I'm not the one who needs to take a break though.
I know.
It's the two of you. And you pointing at Ark.
I can't.
You have the exact. I don't. That's in this context irrelevant because you have the same problem. This is not a competition between the two of you. People are gonna learn differently.
I'm not attempting to have a competition.
That's what it looks like from me.
There's no winning. There's just a right way.
Teacher Ott kind of steps into this argument. Ark, Hideaki.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing.
Kind of brings you over. What was your goal here with Tal?
Just completing the incantation.
And you are?
And I think true to Ark fashion, he kind of like looks at Tal and back at Teacher Ott and says, I didn't have a goal with Tal. I was trying to show how I do it.
Then you are both wrong. Office hours are to help those with questions learn.
I know.
So it is not about how you do it. Looks at Ark.
I know.
And it's not about showing the way that is written in the book.
This is the 7th way we do this incantation.
It's not about a number of ways until there's one that hits the trick. You need to listen to Tal.
Teacher Ott, may I ask a question?
Of course.
If the way I do it would help somebody else learn to do it a different way correctly, then is my question not valid?
You need to ask Tal that. You need to ask Tal, would it help you, Tal, if I showed it my way?
Teacher, with due respect, I'm not the one in charge of this classroom. I was asking a question.
I asked you for your assistance today. So your task today is to do just that.
Hideaki is screaming inside of his head right now.
Tal is like trying to shrink in this moment, is like, oh god, I made a thing happen and now I feel bad. Uh-oh.
And
This isn't about us. And like,
Teacher Ott smiles, is like, yes, you're getting it.
I had it the whole time, and he spins around.
If it's not about
It
us,
finally escaped.
if it is not about us, then why are we speaking to us about it?
This... like, he realizes, like, there was a lot of its and that's and that, and I gets, like, a little confused as, like...
Packet loss, yep.
What are we talking about here?
Welcome to Arc 2, is what I say.
Sometimes, Arc, the best way to learn is to teach. And so, to show me, and to help you, I would like you to do this task for me. And that is a request as your teacher.
May I ask what the task is in explicit detail?
Of course.
If it is just to shatter Hideaki.
Were did you not listen to like 15 minutes ago? I mean, you're a little late.
Ark's secret plan is coming out too soon.
This is it.
Did I say
He's
that
the big
out
bad. It's not going to be Bolt Dragon after all.
If it is just to
Amazing.
shadow Hideaki, then I currently believe I am successful in what you asked me to do.
I agree.
So for you, I'm gathering that explicit detail will help you learn, and so I'm happy to do so. I would like you to shadow Hideaki in his task. To do so, perhaps it would be beneficial to ask Hideaki what his task is.
Hideaki, what is your task?
He swallows the first thing that he was going to say, which is, "What do you think my task is?"
I would love to see where that combo goes.
I had to say it though, because it was really
sure.
like, I had to say it. So he swallows that to listen, to help, to listen again, to teach, to listen, and then he...
Possible way to say the dark. I love it. I'm just seeing Waffles' face.
Yep.
He's like...
And then, like, I think, because he, of course, as you all know, speaks in mega platitudes, otherworldly sometimes.
Yeah.
And then recognizing immediately that it's not going to make purchase based off of previous conversations, like letter delivery, etc., etc., etc. To help when people ask for it. Which is why they're here.
So if they do not ask,
So you can actually make that as an assumption. They did. They're
I
very base.
yes.
Go ahead.
They Tal asked for this, so we should have helped. If they do not ask, or if I ask, or if you ask, then we should help. If they do not ask, then we don't help.
You can make the assumption that by being here, they've asked for help.
I understand.
Yes!
Now, if I could ask one more question. How do you teach
It's office hours, Ark.
if you are
You
listening?
can ask as many as you like.
How do you teach if you are just listening?
Sometimes, just saying something out loud helps people understand their problem a little more. Because they're not focused with what's all else is happening up here. And by that I mean their brain. And by that I mean their thoughts. And then he goes whoop, off on a tangent, comes back, and yeah, go ahead.
Teacher
Sarah.
kind of steps in here and looks at Ark for a second. Ark, is there something of the school that you would like to see taught? Anything in particular? And you do know that you had thought about that fight club, for example.
Oh boy.
We don't talk about it though.
I love you, Star.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I will step back again.
I do believe I had something in my mind, but the tournament filled that a little. However, I wonder if there is not a way to mix magic with other types of either martial fighting or, as we've seen, like alchemy can mix magic. And I do not believe this school delves very far into mixing martial prowess with magic.
That's something I'd be interested in learning. You hear from way back, way back here.
The camera's like,
Refocuses.
You see
yeah, me too, actually.
teacher out thing for a second. All right. Ark, I have a project of my own that I look to pursue during my tenure here as a teacher. I've shared this with Hideaki in the past. I do research on the ways in which people learn. As a method to help with these classes, for some extra credit, and I do believe this will help you as well, I will talk with Mafika. to see if we can't have some mixed classes that I would like you to teach. Would you be willing to do that for me?
Sure.
We will offer an elective class to those that are interested. Looks over at you, Tal. And we'll put some flyers up to see if anybody else is interested. In your process of teaching this mixed martial and arcane joining of Mafika and I's expertises, I would like you to share with me if you learn anything insightful on how you've found people learn best. Is that agreeable?
Yes.
Excellent. All right.
Oh man,
For now,
together
we're
we
gonna-
can probably cover even more ground. What a great idea.
Does Ark react to that?
No. Internally, he's thinking no, because they're two completely separate things, so it doesn't matter.
Now I think we've covered this topic extensively for today. Kind of points to like the one that Tal had been asking about. Why don't we? Kind of looks at the clock. Well, let's call it for today. Everybody else, wrap up if you have any last questions. Don't forget the homework due tomorrow. And kind of wraps up office hours. Tal, you leave this space like not having learned the thing that you were confused
I learned
about.
nothing. I learned
Yeah.
nothing other than I want to do magic with my hands, but by like punching. That's all I learned.
You remember Chazira's words of offering to help, as well as if this doesn't work for you, find something that does.
Yes.
May I make
I
matters
want to
more
go to the
complicated?
library. I want to go to the library, but of course you can make things more complicated. Please.
I assume we don't have the telepathic bond anymore.
No.
I didn't think so. That's totally fine. Amidst the riffraff and sounds of people leaving, he'll just like whisper over to you. Just because we're not in office hours doesn't mean we can't study together. So, happy to continue to help if you need it.
So helpful.
I was actually going to the library if you wanted to come.
I was hoping
Sure.
that was gonna happen. Third wheel.
Ark, are you going to the library as well?
Absolutely not.
No,
Are
you're
you
not
still,
talking
are you
about-
still here though?
Yeah, I imagine he would like. He's probably like packing up his books and not really
Okay.
paying any attention.
I would
to anything.
then as after Hideaki very clearly like made this an invitation that I see as a two-person invitation. Tal like looks around you and says, "Ark, do you want to come to the library with us?"
Or like putting his last books up, says, "No, I do believe I would learn better on my own. Thank you."
Okay, well, we'll be there a while. Well, I'll be there a while if you wanted to sit and
Then I will
learn.
noisily close a tome. Boom.
Boom.
And, yep. And if you change your mind or you want to compare notes, you know where to find me.
And I think for comedy's sake, just so we don't super skip and I don't get to say it, I think Ark will like go back and study for just a little bit, and then he'll realize he needs a book. So he'll go to the library and sit at a table, not with them.
Oh,
Yes.
Amazing.
that's incredible.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
As you leave,
Say
Mom.
right.
as you leave these office hours, you do see Arafe like getting out of like one of their classes as well.
Oh, hey. Oh, not us.
No, y'all.
Everybody-
Yeah, like
everybody-
everyone.
We're all
of
kind
y'all
of
are-
leaving at the same
Yeah,
time.
y'all are
Okay,
leaving
cool.
the building.
How was your class? Blah, 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 blah.
No,
Storytelling.
I would definitely wave and like go over and
Yeah,
say,
We were going to the library if you wanted to come with us. Well, Hideaki and I are. Ark is going somewhere else.
Not today. I have classes to go to and do my stuff, but maybe I can catch you guys for dinner tonight?
yeah. I assume that Ark is like maybe like 6 to 8 feet away at this point, doing whatever. I'll just yell to Ark.
We're having dinner together. It would be good if it would be nice if you came too.
Our bullhorn's back. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Tal is also. I think 100%. Tal would respond also using bullhorn, and will say,
Okay, it'll be at 7.
Oh, amazing.
Also, the absolutely not was the best comedic gold of all time for tonight. Just that hit me in a way I was not ready for.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That was great. That was really funny.
Amazing. But coming
go
from
there.
this is a couple of things. First of all, a versus. I'm not going to call it a rivalry. I will call it a versus of Ark and Hideaki as they compete in these classes, in this classwork, in all these various forms of kind of a one-upmanship, a trying to prove yourself, a trying to be and strive for perfection, but more perfect than the other. For right now, it's the back burner. It's little things, little moments like this that you see that occur throughout different classes and different times. And perhaps a little manipulation on Teacher Ott's end to have you learn and see and things like that. So, is there something that you would like to... Yes, go ahead.
I feel like Hideaki is just a continuous video game of X will remember this.
Yes.
Yep.
100%. 100%.
I'm gonna need to just
and-
make a roster.
He just has one of his notebooks is just a list of rivals.
Yep.
But it keeps getting crossed out and somebody else gets added and then like gets put added back in.
I thought I was done with this.
But in addition is also the start of a new elective, fight club, if you will, or club fight as
Club fight.
And Airfay, I do believe that you had an interest in joining that as well.
Yes.
Amazing. So, are all three of you, obviously Ark is leading this, are all three of you joining in?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. Sometimes Essie joins, sometimes Miriama joins, sometimes Okoro
going?
joins.
How's that tea going there, Syrup?
Oh, you know.
Oh, I wanted to make that. It's because some time has passed, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have absolutely tried to get more friendly and conversational with Miriama during post chatting with Hideaki.
So one of the days you're kind of going, you're in the between classes, you're in the dorms, and you get you're kind of leaving the little hallway of your room, and you see Miriama frustratedly kind of like at the mask that's at the end of the hall. You see her standing there like kind of cursing under her breath. She's like, why won't this work? Just wanted to, come on.
Is everything okay?
Oh, hey, Tel. Just one of those things, the mask is deciding to not work for me today.
Oh.
Love it. So great. Like, she like stares at, like, kind of like at the mask, like,
What are you trying to get it to do?
Oh, Anchor Root lost her chicken. We've been looking for it for a little bit now. And we haven't found it, and it's fine. I mean, I think Okoro's been like running around campus looking for it. Essie's with Anchor Root right now, and I just figured maybe the mask could give an answer, but it always works. It always works. I have never seen this thing broken, but of course for me, it's not working. And she kind of like goes to like smack it a little bit, like not like break it or whatever, but just work, right? Like kind of shoves it. And
yeah, like how you just kind of like shake a vending machine.
Exactly. And as she does so, you see a kind of flash of the eye as she was like holding up like the paper to like the eye with the question. That's how you do it, right? You put a coin in one eye and then you hold the question up to the other. And she was like smacked it, and you see a little flash of magic. And she's like, kind of looks at you like, does it normally do that? What?
I've never seen it do that.
She kind of holds it down and she like waits and she's like looks at it for it to do something, and then you watch. You stand right next to her.
Yeah. We're both like peering at the same place.
Very
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah. Very, very, very much so.
The paper, like after a little bit of a delay, like spits out from the mouth, as it does.
Maybe it's
She
not
kinda, like,
broken.
Pulls it up and holds it up, and the both of you look at it. Now, Tal, you've used this before, right? You know the kind of answers this thing
Yeah,
gives.
it's usually not a lot.
You see written on the piece of paper, check the roof. You can't just look at each other. She looks right back at you.
It's usually not this clear.
No. Well, I'm gonna check the roof.
I'm gonna check the roof.
Yeah.
Do we want to go up in the fun way?
She kind of grins at you. Oh yeah.
I head to the front of the dorm.
Yeah. You guys both run off together to the front of the dorms, and as you do, you pass kind of like, you do hear like a very anxious Anchor Root kind of in her room, and you hear Essie kind of like calming her down.
As I'm running past, I say, "The winner Anchor Root, we got your chick. We're gonna go find it."
That's like there's no response, like, because you're running away, and she's like, okay. So the two of you jump up. Oh gosh, thank you guys so much. Oh, thanks, Star. Okay. And you run out together, and the two of you go to the soaring tower and leap up together. And you jump up, no athletics check required because of this weird gravity tower.
Magic is cool.
And you tap, and you don't have to balance at the top of the pillar, because what you could do is you just jump up there, and then you could just
use
hop
it as
over to
like,
the roof.
yeah.
Which is not far at all. And as you do, make me a perception check.
Click.
Hello.
Click.
Hello.
Click,
Oh,
click.
not this. Stop. Gib.
There it is.
14.
So you look at the roof, and you're like, kind of, you don't see anything for a second, and you're like,
I go up
Where
to
is
like
it?
the ridge or like the to see on the other side too, unless it's like completely flat.
No, it's like there's different sections. It's there's like a little bit, you can't see everything, and then you go and you kind of hop over, you tip tap across the roof, and then kind of on the other side, you hear it before you see it, is this little like clucking of like, where am I? How do I get off of here? And you do see her chicken on the roof.
Do I know if this chicken has a name?
If chat wants to name it.
OMG, chat. Go,
let
give me the
chat
thing.
name things.
Chat, name our
Anchor
chicken.
Root.
Name our
Anchor
chicken.
Root's chicken.
Familiar. Where's the
Okay.
kid?
I love Anchor Root so much.
Anchor Root so much.
So while we
Oh no, I'm gonna cry again.
No. While we await this name that is bound to be great, George. Ooh, George came first.
George is a name.
But we have Mr. Squibbles.
Let's let things.
So here's
George is a name.
Well, here's the thing. George and Mr. Squibbles came at the same time, so his name is George Squibbles.
Ooh.
Son of a bitch.
George
Fantastic. Son of a bitch. I'm
Beautiful. Why not both? Fuck it, understand. All right,
His
so
name is George Squibbles. It's fine.
George Squibbles. Yeah, one gave the first name, the other gave the last name. It's perfect. So you do know, Dr. George. Nope, just George Squibbles.
Dr. George Squibbles the Fourth.
I think the dorms have like all given to like adding names to it on purpose of like, you know. Yes, Mr. Squibbles. It's like Anchor Root had named it George, and like Essie at one point was just like, "Oh, Mr. Squibbles," and like Anchor was like, "Okay, fine, George," and then it just kept going from there. And then like at one point, Ignacy was like Dr. Squibbles, and like it just kept going.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. So
Great.
yes, there you go.
Okay. So I am going to ooh, I'm gonna do this.
And just to kind of like, it's not hard to grab this chicken. It's not, it's not a angry.
Okay, well I wanted to like calm it down, so I was gonna do something like infectious enthusiasm, or technically I wanted to do soothe, which is technically the healing, but I wanted to be more like emotional healing.
Emotional soothing.
Yeah.
And with Mariama's help, the two of you kind of like, one goes to one side, the other goes to the other, and like you're able to sort of like keep it away from the edge so it doesn't hurt itself.
Yeah.
Before like Mariama scoops it up or however. And Mariama just kind of laughs at a certain point at the fact that the chicken is indeed on the roof, and that the piece of like paper.
First time that's ever been accurate or helpful.
It's yes, I mean to me anyways, but you know what? It doesn't matter. No one's gonna believe it anyways. But we have the chicken, right? So that's.
I'm going to believe it. I was there. I would have believed it anyway.
Thank you. It just that things just always happen to me, and I don't intend for it. You saw.
Oh,
I didn't
know.
do anything to it.
Yeah, I know. I saw it at the tournament too. I mean, fate has a weird way with some people.
She looks at you when you say that.
Tal is kind of like looking oddly. Not sure how to like smoothly broach this topic. Is looking a little awkward.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Do you say this with... This happened to you too?
Kind of. There's things that I don't... There have been things that have just kind of happened. And definitely some people think that it's not entirely real.
Flashes to both Tyrugan and then also to Ark.
Mm-hmm.
With the I'm sure it was all just a dream comment.
And like holding this chicken like in her hands, she kind of like, she has it in both her hands, and she's just like almost like kind of forgetting that it's in her hands. She kind of like steps closer. She's like, and she kind of like shakes it with like eagerly. It's like, right? Like what, like the chicken's there. Sorry.
I'm gonna take the chicken from her
hands it
and
off
just
to
like
you.
hold it. Just I see the
sorry.
excitement and stuff, and I just want to hold the chicken.
I'm telling you, there's forces out there. There's forces out there that can manipulate these things, and they have it out for me. I swear.
Well, okay, but this, and just like holds up George. This wasn't a bad thing that happened, right? I mean, that cult that you may or may not have started might not be a bad thing either.
Have you encountered them yet? Sorry, no.
No,
yes,
because you haven't talked. We haven't gotten the story yet. It's been weeks. I'm just guessing.
I owe you that story, but yes, and then the lightning that strike. I mean, it's not always a bad thing, but then it totally disintegrated my staff. So sometimes it is a bad thing, and sometimes
But
it's
it didn't.
not.
But the lightning didn't hit you.
No, but it was. I mean, yes, fair, but
Right.
I'm not going to say I'm cursed or blessed. Is all I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's people out there, or something, there's some force out there that is manipulating it. That's what I think.
So, I agree with you. A lot, actually. Let's get this chicken to anchor root, and I want to tell you something important.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Maybe?
Yeah. And she
okay,
just
okay.
goes to jump
Yeah.
down from the same
I
spire.
go. Yes, I also go.
Yeah.
Holding this baby so tight.
You hold Mr. Scribbles, which, by the way, chat cracking me up with the shake and bake. Really, really,
Oh my god, y'all.
truly amazing. So you go back down, and Anchor Root is overjoyed. She's like, Mr. Squibbles! And just goes and grabs the chicken out of your hand, and she's like, where was.
He was on the roof.
Apparently. And she kind of like holds Mr. Scribbles up in like the cutest way, and it's just like, Mr. Scribbles, what were you doing on the roof? But thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
It was Miriama, actually.
Oh, Miriam, thank you so much. Thank you both. Oh my gosh. And Essie's just like, Essie being like the more like smart oriented one is just like kind of looks over to where you guys came from, and she goes, I wonder if it didn't just wander too close to the spire and got thrown up there. But it's okay though. It's fine. You have it back. It's great. And like Essie kind of just takes Anchor Root back. And Miriam is like, alright, so you wanted to strap?
Right. So, I'm just gonna like, kind of with her consent, grab her hands and like take her over to like a bench or something nearby. Just like pull her over and sit down with her. And, so, you remember when I died? That one time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even have a story that crazy, so that's kind of...
Right. So while I was apparently not here, I was somewhere else. And I met someone. And
you see her leaning in with utmost interest.
And they were kind of this they were a little bit scary, but not really. More like unknown, kind of. But I knew them. It was very strange. But they were like three entities in one entity. There was like an older woman person, and then one that was a little younger, and then one that was even younger, and they were kind of all of them at once, and they had this thread, and then and told me that the threads of fate were connected to me, and that I had to make some choices. And right, and I didn't know what any of that meant, but apparently that's where I am able to cast magic, and I apparently met them before, and I didn't know that I'd met them before, but I kind of knew that I'd met them before. And
if the threads of fate and an entity that you knew but you didn't know,
right. I walked into the woods one day and I came out and I was able to cast magic. That's...
This entity is probably the source of your magic.
What?
She just said it with confidence, and she's just like, I mean, that's my theory. But that's just what makes sense. Essie kind of walks by out of Anchor Root's room, like at that point in time, and hearing like, that's my theory. And she's like heading off with purpose. Like you're probably in the common room on a couch, and Essie's just walking by, and she just kind of makes a comment. She's like, Rihanna's theory is frighteningly accurate sometimes, and keeps walking.
Okay, well, if you're right, then I don't know who they are. How do I figure out who they are?
Well, let's find out.
I've only talked to them when I was kind of dead, and I don't want to do that again. To talk to.
Have you gone to
them.
the library?
Kind of. What? No, not.
Well, let's go. She's grabbing your hand.
Okay.
Oh my god!
And Miriam and Tal head off to the library to do some research on some threads of fate and entities. Amazing.
So that was in like the
Actually,
past.
I was panicking because I thought this was the same day, and I thought we were gonna
No,
have
it was like in the
library
past.
table,
That
and I
was-
started to
no.
freak the fuck out.
We'll say this was. Oh, I get
made a crowded table.
Wobbly, timey-wimey. Whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I imagine that
Okay.
happened in like the interim time between like party night and now, which is
Perfect.
now.
Oh, that's
Waffle
actually
time.
that's perfect. Actually, yeah.
Then go ahead with a successful aid from Miriama.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to make?
I would love to roll whatever you want to tell me to roll. I want to roll dice.
I like
Ready.
dice.
I like
to roll
dice.
them.
Would a cult be a applicable role?
Oh,
Would religion
wouldn't
be
you
more?
like that? No, okay.
I would love that actually a whole lot, really though.
That is
Let's
a
fucking
gift.
go.
What Maria just did is absolutely a gift.
Let's fucking
Thank
go.
you very much.
Roll that occult for me.
That's a hero point. I got a 10.
Okay.
13.
Okay. Great. We'll resolve this later.
Great.
Is there anything else that happens in the library at another point in time between, like, when you guys study? Is there anything else that anybody else would like to resolve for a little bit more studying?
Anytime I go to the library, that's what I'm studying, by the way. I don't see the point in being here other than to look for this one specific thing yet. Because
Absolutely.
I don't get the concept of libraries quite yet.
Sure. And Miriam kind of like pulling you in, maybe for the first time, to show you, like, here's how you can search for these books. Like, you can go to the front desk and ask them about this, and this is how you do it. You probably just go to that same section and just keep.
I'm so ready for the flash cuts of it's every other day. It's Hideaki saying, Tao, you want to go to the library? She's like, no, Miriama's taking me today. No, Chizuri's taking me today.
Okay, cool. I'll see you at lunch. Okay. Sixth grade, like, nervousness.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I will say, to answer your question, Sarah.
Yeah.
In my spare time, when I'm not studying, I would like to go to the library and find out more about the astral plane, please.
Oh, would you? Okay.
Sexy.
It's kind of my thing, darling.
Arafe, is there anything you would like to research at the library if we're already talking about library research?
I don't know if she would necessarily be going to the library, but I think she's the only one that's in a different class now.
Yeah.
Which is to
We
say,
do have the
you
same
don't.
secondary schools, though. So we do
You
the
have,
same.
you have overlapping secondary schools, and this is not. You don't only take classes in your branches. Like, you do have overlapping classes, and I would not make it that you're not in the same like circles and things like that.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like it's just like going to school. You just have different classes and you hang out at lunch. Like
But sometimes you also have classes together.
Yeah. But I would just definitely say that for her, she's continuing to do the Rain Scribe stuff, and she's gonna be like continuing to study with Anchor Root. But I think for her at this point, every time that she's like walking by and she sees Mafika doing any sort of teaching that's more for the primary people that took the Tempest Sun mages as a primary, I think she finds herself stopping and listening more and more as she runs across that.
Amazing.
Not necessarily going into the classes, but like being that creeper that stands outside the door and just kind of listens.
Yeah. I mean, I think at a certain point, Mafika just invites you, like, you're always welcome, just sit in. And the thing is with the Magaambya classes, it is very freeform in that sense. And a lot of the time, Mafika has his classes outside. Like, when it's not raining, they're out there. He's just teaching outside. So
Yeah, she still has that feeling like she needs to be focusing on the Rain Scribes, but she very much wants to be paying attention to that.
yeah, and maybe one of those times where Tal and Hideaki are on their way to the library and they catch you. You do know that Mafika has a lecture that you kind of want to listen into, or something of that sort.
Yeah.
Perfect. Ark, is there anything you would like to study?
Ark is hyper cramming for school, but if available, he would look to do any kind of research on this symbol.
Oh, that symbol right there?
Yeah.
Hey!
Amazing. For that, as much as I... Can
We
you
thought that later
make...
again.
Can you make me either a society check? We don't have a history check, do we? No,
That's
we have society.
Society is history, basically.
Yeah. And tell me, what's your approach for this? Are you looking at this symbol from where has the symbol been in the past, or are you looking for a connection in like arcane magical studies?
Both, to be honest. I would say probably since he's at a magic school, he will start with the arcane magic studies.
Okay.
And basically, it's one of those things like, let's look up what we can find, and the first real piece of information, let's follow that thread.
Okay. Make me an arcana check, please.
Okay.
Okay.
16.
Okay!
Okay.
I want to use my hero point, but I don't, because I gotta save that for a cram roll.
Ooh. Okay.
So I can't.
You
I love you. So much.
tell me something. How many spikes are on that?
Too many.
7. Yeah, I was making sure you didn't like draw an extra one or something. I was like, I know how many spikes are on it, but let me make sure it's the same symbol.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Art doesn't know, and it might be different.
So 7. You don't, it's hard to look for a picture. So you start with what you can. You look for and we don't have Google here as much as we would love to. So let me ask you, do you show this to potentially like any attendants or something, or are you keeping it to yourself?
Nah, I'm keeping it to myself. Art
Okay,
thinks he's
so-
the best person to do this research.
So you're looking at this symbol being like, okay, so if I can't search for this image, what properties am I able to do? You're assuming it has to do with magic. You're looking at it from a magical perspective. So you start with the fact that there's 7. Let me check something real quick. So, okay, come on, please, do the thing.
Do it. Do it.
Do the thing.
I'm looking at Nethys and I clicked the search, but then I just like actually minimized it instead, and I was like, what's
Rip at this.
Perfect. Okay, so 7. 777. And you're looking for where 7 can come up. But you know that a lot of the core things when it comes to like schools of magic is there's 8 schools of magic. So it's not that. So what can it be?
So can I just give you something?
Yeah.
His immediate thought would go to, can it, like, if there's 8 schools of magic now, did there used to be 7? And so at that point, he would probably start looking into more like history kind of stuff.
Okay, perfect. So that's going to be what that roll got you to.
Okay.
So now you're going to switch over to history after this.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're also cramming, so we're going to say that, like, you know, that's as much as we're getting right
That's perfectly fine.
now. Okay. Tal. That 13.
Yes.
That 13 has a +4 from Mariama. Which this is 17. Wow. Yes, I had to. Okay, we're moving on. I was like, okay, great. I can do math, y'all.
It's all on the clock. You're allowed. It's fine.
So 17 Nicole. I'm also gonna go to Nethys real quick for this because of reasons.
If it exists in Nethys, chat, we know it's not homebrew. Get her.
I could look it up myself. I'm really
I'm
good
in the
at
middle of writing
puzzles.
this email to Paizo right now.
Y'all, none of this is in the books. It's cool. It's cool.
Actually, Hideaki's emotional damage is in the book.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the emotional damage right there. It's pretty high DC. Very high DC. So it's difficult. You're looking at these books, at what they have about fate, about things like that. And there's nothing. There's the books in this school are about the study of the magic. So there's information when you're looking into fate. You look into some of books that talk about spells like yours. You see a description that's very similar to the Grim Tendrils that you're familiar with, and about seeing potential futures and choosing your outcomes and magic like that, and it resonates with you because you've felt things like this. And all that these books talk about, and some you find even as like personal journals of academics that previously been at the Magaambya and things like that, and all you find is that the word patron, that this magic comes from a patron. But then things get super confusing because when you try to go that route, the description of these patrons are so varied. Some talk about how they talk to their patron constantly, and some talked about other, mysterious it's very difficult to pinpoint. But with the aid of Mariama, who sits next to you reading through these books with you, Mariama, who has an uncanny ability to be rather insightful and put clues together. And she's the first to look at you and point out a common thread in each of these. A familiar. A gift from the patron. That seems to be the tie, the connection between the giver of the magic and the receiver. These creatures vary wildly. A raven, a bunny, a dog. There's a variety. And then you kind of look over at Nim. And you remember in your
Imagine is
vision.
like curled up on the table next to us,
Yep,
like
just-
sleeping.
Yeah, pass it out over there. And you kind of try to think like, how do you prepare in the morning? How do you make your spells in the morning?
I just feed Nim and talk to Nim.
Those
Make sure
things
that they're
kinda
taken
click.
care of.
That's all you get. That's that bout of research. And from there, as different times passes and you continue to study and you continue to cram and you continue to go to school. Yes, it is.
Unless, because I know I've been doing a lot of talking for obvious reasons. So unless Star wanted to do something before me, which I'm totally down for, I have a letter to send.
I guess I had a brain fart moment where Arafe would probably go to the library to look up living shadows. I'm like,
Wait,
oh no, she would go to the
no.
library. Oh wait, I just physically interacted with a shadow. She would probably think to look at
I would like to
that.
Google these things.
I would like to
I
Google
love
touched a
this.
shadow and it touched me back.
Amazing.
I touched a shadow and it touched me back. Question mark, question mark, question mark, enter. Google. Yeah.
Ends up
You
on
want
the
to make
same
me...
thread as, am I perganonant?
Okay, so... What would you... Let's... Give me a second here. Let's keep looking.
Take your time.
My goodness. Yeah, do you want to... Here, while I'm pulling this up, you had a letter to write, Hideaki, so why don't we go
did.
ahead and do that?
And I learned the character limit that makes you stop because I wrote a lot. So I'll give it to you. Kizushi, my wonderful friend. I'm so glad to have received your letter and sorry for losing my patience and sending another one so quickly. It has been quite the journey thus far, filled with as much joy as there was tragedy, but oddly enough, you do not bore me with your stories of greenhouses and tomatoes. As a matter of fact, it's a good reminder of why I'm trying to accomplish what I am for the betterment of everyone at home and hopefully elsewhere. As far as Overnosa is concerned, let everyone know that the Watcher not only watches the village, but it's through our experiences here at the Magaambya that will allow us to watch even from as far away as we are. Plus, I'm starting to think that positive influence is more of an impact in our world than just words. Especially when there's actions behind it, and then you add magic, and magic is in all uppercase, to it. Ellipses. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for being who you are. You mean a lot to me, and I can't wait to hear how your greenhouse adventure grows. But keep in mind that what you're doing is just as important, and if anyone tells you different, I know a familiar dragon that can give them a talking to. I'm not worried about Father at all, but I hope he is well and ready to have been proven wrong about me. I'm not surprised there was a choosing ceremony shortly after my departure this quickly, but for what he wants, he likely plans to erase me from the memory of what happened at mine. However, he is misguided, and that is fine. Kiss my mother, though, and tell her I'm doing well. Actually, better than I thought. We had a very rough first week, but things have settled in and I feel really connected to this place. I can't wait to show you and everyone what I've learned, and I hope you and my mother get to meet my friends one day. They are really special. I've learned more these past few months about myself than in my entire life. And I'm learning how to be true to myself and the people around me. I think I'm on the way to doing something really special and being something even more. I think I have the ability to truly make a difference in our world. Hideaki, and you see L.E. as he goes to be able to write Leader of What's Next, strikes it out, and types types. Because I type. Quill typing. Hideaki, the future is bright.
I love it. I love it so much.
I've been running that between episode 11 and now.
Send me that for reasons so I can respond.
Send me that for reasons.
It's been sitting in the Ono Lorne Moore like draft for like 3 months. I'm so glad I didn't get to lead it. I would have been so sad.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
I'm also glad. Alright, so Arafe, would you like to make an occult roll for me? Or what you know, you can tell me what are you looking for instances of this in the past? Do you want to do a society roll? Or do you want to look at the inherent magic of it?
I think she'd be looking for the inherent magic of it since Yafira said, help me.
Yes, understood. Go ahead, make a occult roll for me.
Good, I'm good at those. But not that good. Hero point. That wasn't much better. It went up by 1. 13.
The dice gods are like, you can't unlock all the secrets yet. No.
No.
No. Great. So let's see. 13.
+4 with Mariama.
Tell me, are you talk to me a little bit about how you would approach this, so what you're looking for exactly.
So much like Tal, she has never used a library before. So I'm guessing with a 13, she's looking for books with just the name Shadow in them to see if I can find anything about it. Just not really being sure. And as she's going through this library going, I should have asked Ark. Ark probably could have helped me with this.
Okay. So you're just looking for anything shadow based?
Yeah, she really doesn't know where to start with this.
Sure.
I mean, so I guess like even with a 13, I think maybe she would, especially since Yafira brought up something about, like, specifically brought up the demon, maybe she'd be looking more towards that way of things.
Okay.
So obviously a little misguided in what she's looking for right now, but I'm assuming actually.
So I'm gonna let you pick. One route being, you see a book kind of like maybe with the title Shadow Magic.
Yeah, that would
general.
That would 100% be the one.
You also can see a book. We're not gonna say this. There's also, you're not gonna see both books, and I know RFA would just read both books. But let's say the other option is a book that says the Shadow Realm.
I'm guessing she would go for the shadow magic part.
Okay. So you do. You pull that book and you look through it. Shadow Magic, this book, what you find with your roll, Shadow Magic's interesting. This book is more of like a dissertation. Potentially a previous Magaambyan student wrote this dissertation about what they've learned about shadow magic. And it's like, while most types of magic are additive, arising from gaining knowledge or abilities, shadow magic is different. And it starts like, and it goes on this little like nice little essay.
I'm like, where's the good stuff?
Yeah, like skimming through. And you read a part that says, to touch the shadow, this interests you, a spellcaster must surrender the piece of their spirit that normally keeps the darkness out. This process permanently removes the spellcaster's ability to cast spells of light and warmth. And you look at that part and you're like, but that's not me. I still cast those things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like that confusion of like, well, this like was so close, but then it doesn't fit exactly.
Yeah.
And it talks about like, but compensates them with the unmatched facility for manipulating the energies of darkness and shadow. And then again, you're like, I'm not manipulating this shadow. This is like a being of its own. But that's your start, your dive into shadow magic.
Okay.
Amazing.
So kind of a little bit of info, but just as confused as when I started.
Yes. But info. Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. So with all of that, as each of you kind of pursue your interest, your studying, your things, one of the days. Give me 1 second, actually. You should.
I'm
Hey,
feeling
Haber,
tired.
what kind of forms we had to fill out for this like business?
Did you guys fill out like the waivers for the Fight Club?
Amazing.
to?
Yes.
Oh man, I think I gotta fill out a W-9.
Amazing.
Obligatory. Well, if you sign the waivers, they don't actually count. You cannot sign away your right.
Is
You
this
cannot
social
sign away your
certified?
Why is Bill Clinton in the chat right now? You can't sign away your
my
rights.
God.
Okay, never mind. Fuck me. I'm out of here.
One of the classes that Takula Ott is teaching, Teacher Ott's teaching, that Airfay is also attending, just one of those lectures. So all of you are there. Teacher Ott kind of calls you after the end of the lecture and kind of calls you forward while everybody else kind of leaves. And he's just like, I have a favor to ask of you. And he looks up from like his desk that has like so many books and things all around him, and he seems to kind of like furrow his brow. He's like, some research materials I need are missing from the usual reference libraries. I've had initiates look for them with no success. I've spoken with the other professors to see if perhaps what I need has landed in their more private collections. Again, no success. I know now where they aren't, which tells me where they must be. And he kind of pulls out from one of the drawers a detailed map of the Magaambya grounds. This building here points as he puts this like lens from his desk over it that to magnify it. It goes, looks to be this round dormitory kind of building sketched out. This building here hasn't seen use in... Just trails off and kind of shrugs before continuing. It was carved from an enormous stump as a dormitory, but was being converted into a library before the project was abandoned. Please take a look and see if these 5 books are there. And he gives you a short list, and he goes, return them to me regardless of their condition. I would appreciate anything else you feel would be relevant or worth salvaging. And you know, there's all kinds of restorative magic, which is probably why he's not too concerned of how damaged they are. And he gives you a list of 5 works. He gives you the studies on the habits and migration patterns of birds and drakes of the continent of Garund, which is recorded in a leather-bound book. An expanded history of the lesser-known peoples of the Mwangi Expanse, which is recorded on vellum and bound by leather cords. The World Between Worlds, Exploring the Planes and Demi-Planes, Volume 4. Recorded in an extraordinary large leather-bound book. Treatise on the various communicative methods of non-vocally projecting entities, recorded on a scroll that whispers eerily when unrolled. As I throw my book off my desk. Take that, see if I can.
First time you looked at the book,
We said we were
hours
throwing
and
the book
25
out
minutes
tonight.
in.
We are. And lastly, collected field notes of the Druid Mata Digamari, a small chest with cramped writings covering its wooden surfaces. Do you have any questions for him?
We'll grab those names from you in the chat later.
Yes. Actually, no. That was one and done. You had that chance.
That was it. And yes, it's a Wheel of
This
Fortune
is
game
for
now.
All right.
all of us.
So I have
all of
what
you-
they say or
All
what
of
they
us are
are
good,
made
yeah.
of, but not what they are.
Yeah.
Ark would ask if we can do it tomorrow.
Yes. Just if you can get it to me whenever you can.
What time of day is it right now?
It doesn't. Afternoon. Yeah.
Cool.
Whatever.
Sure. Kodiak would just look at you puzzled about that, like with an eyebrow up. That's about it.
It's not uncommon in a magic school to need time to prepare like spells. I feel like in a world like this, it's pretty common practice
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
be
that's
like, yeah,
And Ark
Okay.
would even explain that, like, he very specifically has a spell that he thinks would help with gathering things.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Because I think that the query on his mind is like, well, what you got going on today, bro?
Yep.
So yeah, no, never mind.
Airphase mind snaps back to the last time we did something, and they're like, "Why didn't you take the time to research?" So
We learned there's a library.
we learned there's a library.
Yep.
well,
Astral Plane, Volume 2.
and this one, and so just as a reminder, it says this was a dormitory built as a dormitory, and then went to go to be a library, and then was abandoned.
Can we see it on the Roll20 map?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Let's get you guys to the Magaambya campus.
Oh, hey, look at that.
As I
Yeah.
try to look at
We haven't been on this map in a while.
and then we will do this. Bam. Ba-bam. Bam.
Bam. Oh, okay, cool.
It is actually all the way back here.
Oh, near the library.
I think it's up here. I'm just kidding.
I would prefer it to be near the storage barn, actually.
It says tree stump library because this was built into a tree stump, and you can see it like overgrown in the back there, like completely covered. That is not the library you guys usually go to for obvious reasons.
Fair enough.
Cool.
And here I actually showed you guys where the Archhorn library actually is.
That's the one we usually go to.
Yeah, that's your actual library.
But the
Okay, cool.
tree stump library is where I would only want to. Me,
I love
personally.
trees. I love
Myself.
trees. As
Me,
someone
myself, and
that
I.
that grabs the towel away from the trees, I think we should go to the tree stump library. Well, since we have the evening free, does anyone want to do anything together?
Airphase just like, yes.
Oh, what?
Study.
Study.
No.
Y'all want to go to the
research.
library?
I mean,
Sure, but
I'm gonna grab Tal, and we're gonna go to the library, but no.
But not Hideaki.
Hideaki.
yo, fucking hashtag cow blocked.
I know that I read to you something here where I was like, here, do this thing for me, but you are able to converse with Teacher Is there any questions or anything else that you would like to know about this scenario before you do the thing?
Is there any
Why did-
reason? Sorry.
No, you ahead.
Is there any reason that we should believe that it might be dangerous?
I was just about to ask that.
great question. Good question. Let's give it up for that great question.
Look at that, great R2. Get over here.
Yay. Will we die?
Again.
Well,
Again.
You had your turn, Tal. It's fine. The rest of us have to go.
I
yet.
did.
Save something for the rest of us.
No, just for me.
This is
It's
my
a-
shtick, okay?
overgrown tree stump. I wouldn't be surprised if, things have found a nice little home in an abandoned space. Please do proceed with caution.
Well,
Understood.
we've learned that we should never be too careful, so...
And Arafat, did you have a question?
Why did they stop building the library?
A curious question that I don't actually know. I looked into it a little bit. Wasn't able to find anybody on campus that knows. seems
Odd.
to just have been abandoned.
Maybe we'll find out when we investigate.
Is there going to be a pug won't be there with a Brooklyn accent?
No, I'm refined now, thank you.
Look at them with the monocle, eh?
Hey, Pip cheerio then.
Pimping all that.
You made fun of my
We lost the
accent,
entire
Slime.
UK. Oh no!
Sorry.
I have British accent now, and so just
Now
keep
it's kind
changing.
of Cockney.
Pip, cheerio!
I believe they call that a quadruple down.
My favorite part of this episode is where they mocked the British dialect for 5 whole minutes.
Look, the British accent is amazing, and I can't do it right. Okay.
No one
Wonderful and it's
expected.
varied and it's beautiful like all langulanguages are.
No
I'm
offense
not
to
making
British
fun of it.
British.
This Pugwampy from Brooklyn is.
Okay, that's, you know what? There you go.
Fair enough.
The worst.
Yes, and that does strike you as odd. It does. He seemed to say like no one on campus. He doesn't know why the library conversion was abandoned, and in fact, no one still on campus does. Is basically that.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right. So, prepare your spell slots, my friends, because we start next session with a little excursion to an abandoned library, which
Oh, we're not partying
definitely.
tonight?
Night's still young. It's only 10:30 my time.
Oh, my bad.
Yes, Sarah. Let us play Pathfinder, okay?
Okay. So, what sorts of things will you guys find in an abandoned dormitory turned library? Find out next week.
That
2
was
weeks
paper
from
for
now.
us. That'd be a good callback.
Next time on
Next time.
Dragon
I
Ball
think
Z.
It's time for a little dungeon crawl. Don't you guys? I think it's time for a little action. Entirely on me for forgetting I had made a note to, and this is my bad. I have a very important thing that I want to share because a wonderful person is spending a lot of work getting ready for an exciting debut of a new show this Saturday. The wonderful D&D and Jordan Lee
Yes.
is debuting a new campaign that she's put so much love and effort into.
She's literally working on it right now, like no doubt.
Yes. She has just look, it's beautiful. I'm honored to be able to do a little bit of the art that you might see at some point. I hope that I get it done soon. But it's amazing. The art's amazing. Everything's
It's really
amazing.
good. Lynn is incredible.
Lynn's amazing, but D&D Jordan Lee is also amazing. So
Yes.
I want to give a little shout out to the show. It's called Infestations. I'm going to read you a little bit about what it's about, and if it's of interest to you, please tune in on Saturday and join them and support that amazingness. Because I'm excited, I'm interested. Adventurers explore the vast and mysterious continent of Ampistrano. This D&D 5e homebrewed campaign, DM'd by the amazing D&D Jordan Lee,
Indeed.
should be in there. I think she missed. She just kind of missed that piece in there. We'll take
Yeah,
our
roll
path
out.
from level 3 to 20. Ampistrano is a rich tapestry of adventure, exploration, and wonder led by the hardworking people that live in this land. It's a crossroads of folklore, legend, and myth. For centuries, the time of peace and prosperity has been observed. This hard-fought peace is now threatened as an ancient beast now stirs from its eternal slumber. As disappearances occur more frequently and strange stones appear, questions are left unanswered as the lives of all of Ampistrano now face terrible peril. 5 adventurers now begin their journey to separate lies from truth and fight never-before-seen creatures. Will they rise to become legends or fall to the darkness? Find out in this epic campaign.
Love that.
That
I will
sounds
say
amazing.
On a personal note,
Please.
Jordan's been building this world for longer than you knew that she had a show called Infestations. She had a private game for it that lasted, I think, for a couple of years, and because she's my little sister, I know a lot about this, and you're in for a treat. So support my little sister, or I will find you. Love you.
Amazing. Oh, thank you for putting it in chat. Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Is that
Indeed.
confirmed correct?
It's on the Twitter. So
Beautiful. Thank
It's
you.
wrong. No, great.
I didn't want to say the wrong thing, so I didn't want to say it at all. But thank you so much. Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Go support that amazing person, and let's stick around. We're gonna raid somebody like we always do and support people in this community. But I want to know real quick one more time, these amazing friends and folks. Wow, let me try that again. These amazing players that I am so lucky to also call friends and are just beautiful souls through and through. Tell me where we can find you on the internet and anything cool that's coming up for you or anything like that. Let's start with Star.
I'm Star Shinobi. You can find me at Star Shinobi on Instagram. The Eldritch Knights, they're speaking to me again.
Shadow.
Very soon I'm part of a group that has written a D&D supplement based on the fairy tale princesses if they had been evil. So there's a good chunk of stories. I believe there's like 10 or 12 one-shot ideas that you can use, ranging from level 1 to level 20. So that will be coming out too. It's called Dark Reflections. If you want to follow that, you can follow Just Thinking K. She is kind of she's kind of the leader of this project. Also, in a couple weeks, I will be working with Gamer Mom Luna. They are having a Extra Life charity event on the weekend of July 9th, and I will be running a campaign for a bunch of incredible people, including Patch, which makes me super happy.
Hype.
So we should have a game before then, but I'm just going to mention it now. If you have nothing going on, come support a good charity.
Amazing. Thank you. Duval.
Hey everybody. Actually, before I do the little outro thingy, I wanted to make a quick note, just to say thank you to my wonderful cast, because what happened tonight to Hideaki is one, amazing, and two, I do think that I would be very comfortable at many other tables going that hard, so to speak. So I love you all very
Honored,
much.
Duval.
I love
Absolutely
you.
honored.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm Jacob Plague, Duval King Jacob on the internets. You see him pronounced, and I'm the dungeon master for the recently wrapped Ilya 5-year Riddle Wall story. The last episode 16, is on our YouTube or on our Twitch VODs. It'll go up on YouTube along with the whole playlist on Saturday. So 2 days from now. So check that out and let me know what you think. I'm also the Dungeon Master for Duval and Dragons, a Chrono Trigger 5e campaign, bi-weekly, twitch.tv/so many games. Go over there, hang out. It's a good time. We're about to hit our 2-year anniversary in like a month, which is really cool. We're gonna have a really long, special Duvalian stream when that happens. So stay tuned for all the details in that regard. So it'll be a good time to Duval. But of course, a bunch of other stuff. Blood In, Blood Out, our bi-weekly on the Amphitheater, our bi-weekly Blaze in the Dark campaign. So if I'm here, that means that it's the next Thursday. And that's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Man, what a different game that is from this. But still just enough emotional damage to get your
Get your
things
dose,
going
you know,
for you
get
if you
going.
want. That's your per. But a lot more murder.
Amazing.
Man, a lot more murder. Anyway, Assassins, what can you do? Also, on Somatic Games, I'm when I'm not running Duval and Dragons on Sundays, the other Sunday, I'm a player in Dragonlance Dragons of Rebirth, same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so that'll be this coming Sunday. But really, really important, tomorrow, at I think 8ish, 9ish Eastern Time, as part of our Helping Heart Hands. Every bi-monthly, we do for the Chatty Fam, we do an actual. We do a bunch of games and ttrpgs and chat shows and stuff like that, and all the money that's raised gets dropped into somebody's Ko-fi, and they don't even know it's going to happen, and it's really fun, and they cry as much as Hideaki did tonight. So you should come check that out. But what's really cool about that is this will impact 3 campaigns on so many games, because this is the third part of our Adorables one-shot. Where I play Sam and Gus, who are adorable. They're actually NPCs, but they became PCs because they wouldn't let them go away and do their shop. It happens. And essentially, we had a donation goal to hit, and it was my fault, and we hit it because now there's an ancient red dragon after them, and Maddie's 20th level wizard. So I'm playing Ancient Red Dragon and Sam and Gus, Kobold Artificers, and trying not to kill our 3 campaigns. So that should be good times. But if we raise enough, we're gonna Avengers Endgame that shit and bring everybody from every campaign to come in. And it's gonna be so we're looking at the most ridiculous Zoom call of all time, like 20 fucking people. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. Thank God I don't gotta do tech. Anyway, and a bunch of other stuff as always. So just follow me on the things. Thank you so much for your support. It means more than we really ever say.
Absolutely. I in that train, because I didn't say it when I was talking before. I want to super thank everybody that's in chat that joins us tonight. Because seeing y'all live and in chat, it means the whole world to us.
Heck yes.
Hadrian, Fumu, Cole. I see Cole's nobody. So when I GM, I do not get the chance to fully check chat, so I'm catching up now, and I absolutely love every single one of you. Bubakars.
You act like you're busy during the stream.
I know. My bad.
I thought you were a GM badass.
And Lustios as well. Thank you guys so much. We are going to be rating friends tonight as well, but we got to get through a couple more.
Yeah, we got more people.
Maria.
Sorry,
Me! It's me. Hello. Hi, I'm Maria. You can find me on the internet at Happy Capster. I am a variety streamer here on the Twitch. I stream Monday through Wednesday and then also on Fridays, doing a lot of video games and such. I also am in other shows, so when I'm not here, you can catch me most Wednesday evenings on Only Play Wizards. We're on a 2-week break, but we're coming back with a punch in just a couple of weeks. We played the Expanse ttrpg over there. If you want to see an emotional episode as well that we did last night, you can go and watch the VOD. I did this same thing, but over there in space.
The afterlife, the real life, and in space.
Besides that, I am also on Huntsman's Hydra every other Monday evening now, playing Lore of Athera. God.
Oh.
Our second episode. I did it this time.
Only play in really difficult wordly named games, by the way.
Lord of Terra.
Abraxas.
But our second episode is going to be our second episode is going to be airing this Monday evening at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern time, I think. But go check out Huntsman's Hydra for the actual factual time for that. Other than those few things that I have going on, I have a couple of things happening this week and next week. This Friday, I'm going to be doing I'm going to be part of a charity stream that kind of goes into my regular Friday streams, in partnership with the Underworld stream team. I'm not part of the stream team, but I am in their community, and so I'm going to be part of their charity stream. We're playing, I believe, Jackbox or some other kind of games, but we're raising money for the Trans Lifeline. So, come hang out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Anything else that I'm doing? So I just posted a new video on my YouTube channel. Please go and throw a whole lot of love at that, because it's a new thing. I hired an editor and everything. We're making content, baby. So,
I love you so much.
Thank you. So,
I love when your words start to run together.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
So any love and support you can throw on that YouTube channel would mean the absolute world to me, because that's where my new show is going to come this fall. It's a talk show called Nightcap, and it's great. Season 2 is coming this fall.
What a cool show.
What a cool show that a lot of people in this chat are going to be on.
Welcome.
Goddamn right I am.
It's me.
You're not the only one, Duvon.
Last but certainly not least, my partner in crime, Waffles. And if you can do me the favor, Waffles, because I did not talk about our Lord of Athera campaign, Siren's Call, I would appreciate it if you did.
For sure. I'm Waffles. I'm here doing cool stuff representing depression and autism. She's distracting me as she comes over on my camera.
She's so cute.
GM_Waffles on Twitter You can find mental health stuff and GM stuff there. I do audio editing, SEO, homebrew, all kinds of stuff that I can get paid for. But if you ask, I'll probably just at least give you some tips. if not
Hire
help.
waffles, okay? Just
Higher
waffles.
waffles.
Hire waffles.
Yeah. I also on every other Friday night I play in Siren's Call, which is our Lore of Athera campaign, a sponsored show. It's D&D 5e. I play a character called Kay, who is very admittedly, if you watch any of the show, you'll see that it, at least based on a little bit of from Vi from Arcane. So
Amazing.
Absolutely. That art though, that buff, gorgeous, sexy art.
yeah.
Amazing.
Wanna make out?
Thank you. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and queue up that raid over to who are you going?
the GR crew.
The GR crew.
We're off Vicky. Ooh, Bear's over there too.
Share the love, guys. Remember, it's oh my gosh, Pride Month. I was like, what's the
Pride?
It's Pride, and to quote Duval, trans lives are human lives. Trans rights are human rights. Everything you matter. We care about you. We love you. Having a space for everybody is super important to us. You're welcome here. Just remember that, and you always will be. We love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. We'll catch you next Thursday. Have a wonderful night, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.